RMJ Movie Reviews back again with an on-the-fly movie review of It Chapter 2. Sorry guys, it's been a long time. Just a lot going on right now. So, life comes first, YouTube comes second. Alright, It Chapter 2. Um, I grew up on the original Stephen King, the miniseries of Stephen King's 1980 epic, gigantic, 1,000+ page novel from the 80s. I, as many other 8-year olds of the time, were terrified of Tim Curry. And now time has passed 30 years or whatever it is, and now everybody just wants to just bash the living hell out of the miniseries because people are too stupid to realize it was a television movie. And also, the only reason these two new movies of It were rebooted was because of Tim Curry's magnificent portrayal of Pennywise, the TV version of Pennywise. And I will say the only reason these films were made is because the impression that Tim Curry left. So I still like the miniseries regardless of the 80s cheese, but I keep that firmly in mind when I do revisit it because I'm not an idiot like other people. The reboot, the original one, I liked. I took a couple issues with it, but I didn't compare it to the miniseries. I mean, they're both two different things from two different time periods, and I like them both. This new one, okay, the reviews have been very negative, and I will say I think the disdain and negativity for It Chapter 2 I think is a little bit over the top. Is this a step down from the last movie? Absolutely. Is this movie horrible? No. Um, I will say that I liked it. Would I rewatch it over and over again? No. I rewatched the first one again in the miniseries, but this one, not so much. What you have here is a case of, first of all, I didn't actually feel the runtime like everybody else was just like, oh, it felt so long, it felt so long. I didn't feel the runtime. To me, I didn't feel it. My biggest issue with this movie was lack of Pennywise. When he is on screen, he's pretty good. But this is the same thing that happened in the miniseries from 1990. There was a lack of Pennywise in that version too, and he kind of popped up here and there doing little things like he does here. But really, and I've heard other YouTube movie reviewers say it really is that middle section. It's the movie starts out great, and then after they leave the Chinese restaurant and they all separate and go their separate ways, that whole bulk of the movie is just like I'm totally oblivious as to it took this many years to get a reboot done. The adult version of the story always suffered. I have never read I've read pieces of the novel, and I listened to the audiobook, but the adult version always suffered, as it suffered very terribly in the TV version, the miniseries version. And again, the adult version suffers here. Um, I just would have thought that because they had so many years to think this out and reconstruct, I really thought they would have came up with something better than what they came up with. That middle section, and everybody has said it, they're just repeating beats from the first movie. I mean, almost verbatim scares that are repeated again. I just can't. I just cannot figure out why they did that. I don't know why. Um, some of the scares that were in this one, I actually think they would have been better if they'd have been in the first movie. Particularly the one with I think it's Eddie and his mom. I think that one should have been in the first one. But either way, they just repeated a bunch of beats from the first movie. I'm at a loss as to why they made that choice. I don't know why they made that choice. It wasn't a good one. Um, the ending. I've heard people complain about the ending. For me, I thought it was epic. I liked it. I'm not gonna get into spoilers. Those of us old folks who grew up on the miniseries, I've heard some people say they like the miniseries version better. I mean, everybody knows the ending to the miniseries version is absolutely awful, and to even say that the miniseries version is better than this new version, I think it's pretty crazy. Even for nostalgia purposes, the ending to that miniseries version does not in any way beat this new version. I'm not gonna give away spoilers. You know what? Look, I was fine with what they did. I've been hearing complaints about the overabundance of CGI. And I agree with it. I agree, not so much with the kid actors. That didn't bother me too much. I noticed it a little bit, but that didn't bother me. I didn't care. I just felt like the creatures, I think all of them should have been practical. The old lady was CGI. I think the leper guy, he looked like he was CGI. I mean, these are all things that just should have been practical. I mean, I don't know. It must be when they're making these movies, it must save a lot of time by doing CGI. But I mean, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, excuse me, y'all. I just really think, I don't know, too much CGI. As far as the finale being CGI, that didn't really bother me. I kind of figured they'd do that. I mean, they're not going to go back to the old days of like Poltergeist 1982, where you could have these magnificent in-camera special effects. They'll never go back to those days ever again. So like, we can just forget about it. The way Henry Bowers was used in the movie. I thought the actor played him very well, and spoiler. And I thought he was very good. Well, anybody who knows the story knows Henry Bowers comes back. My thing is, I just don't think he was adequately used. But I guess, again, he was used the same way in the miniseries. His screen time was about the same. Other issue, the flashback going back to the kids. This is the adult story. I think really, I wouldn't have minded if the kids would have came in little sprinkles as they did in the miniseries. I can't remember if they did in the book or not, but I think that's the way. They should have cut down the kids' screen time and just kept it to maybe emphasizing certain parts of the character that we didn't know, that wasn't revealed in the first film. That was when they should have brought the kids back, obviously. But outside of that, I thought they brought the kids back a little bit too much. Only in the fact, not that I love all the kid actors. They were great. But again, this is the adult movie. And really, I think that's the biggest issue, is that whole middle section is flashbacks and repeated beats of the first film, and it's basically just dead air. It doesn't at all move the story forward. You know, I really think that they should have. I think they should have took some license and just created some new material for that middle section. Something. I mean, like in the miniseries, Bill's wife gets kidnapped. Now, I'm not saying they should have did that again here, but at least that drove some of the action in the third act. Here is just. I mean, yeah, they still want to kill Pennywise, but there wasn't anything driving their sense of urgency beyond, the kid got killed. Okay. I want to make reference to the murder of the gay kid in the beginning of the movie. The beating of the gay couple. First of all, I do remember reading that in the book way back in the day, and I remember it was in the book. I was fine that they put it here. First of all, I hear some people saying, "Oh, with something so ugly to put it in this film." Shut up. This is a film where children get eaten by a creature. And you telling me two men who happen to be homosexual who get a real good beatdown and then one of them gets eaten by a creature? Come on, guys. Shut up with your whining. I don't want to hear it. The beating that the two characters sustain in the movie is no different than a beating you see in Martin Scorsese Goodfellas or anything like that. Matter of fact, The beating you'd see in Goodfellas is much, much worse than the beating these two guys took in the movie. Shut your damn crying up. I like the scene. It drove at least it popped off the narrative to the story. So I was fine with that. Little hints and little reveals that Richie would be a homosexual. That part I just didn't feel was necessary. I just didn't feel it was necessary. It's just like, why is that here? If anybody had been more homosexual, I really think the character Eddie more would have been a homosexual. But I don't know. I just thought that part was, I don't know. It was just like, why is this here? Why? But whatever, they put it in there, fine. No need for it, to me. It just, there was just no point because there was nothing that they did with it. So I didn't think there was any point to it being in the movie. I thought all the actors did a great job. They all had good chemistry. Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise, again, freaking awesome. But doesn't get much to do. Matter of fact, I felt this time he kind of got less to do than he did in the first film. He has a fantastic monologue where he lures in another child. Fantastic scene. That's the best you get of him. So, all in all, I liked it, but big missed opportunity, and I'm really at a loss as to how they really fumbled this whole middle section of the movie. I don't get it, but I don't know if I can really recommend it because it's 3 hours and the length, it shouldn't even be that long. So I don't know. See it if you wish. It's up to you. I'm not going to say whether you see it or not. Thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, hit the little bell, leave comments down below about It Chapter 2. Armchair Movie Reviews. I'll see you soon.